Hello, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I have been making this shell dishcloth, and I'm sure there's ones out there that are done like this, but I just threw this one together out of the top of my head, and this is the second one that I've made, and I thought, well, I've got the pattern down. It works up really nice, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So all you're going to need to do a dishcloth like this is some sugars and cream or kitchen cotton, whatever cotton yarn that's for like household things like dishcloths, face cloths, that kind of thing. That's the kind of cotton you need. All right, I'm going to set this aside for right now. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this started from the middle, which is always a trick because I like to start from the middle, but finding the end is not always easy. Hi, Mary. Yeah, it's a rainy, drizzly, depressing day here, so I thought I'd do something fun. Yeah. We'll get it started from the middle. It'll be really easy. Not. Let's see. Well, there we go. There, we got it. Get it undone here. So you're going to, you need the kitchen cotton type stuff. And this is a size J hook. And I use this for my dishcloths. And then I use a smaller hook when I make the little matching scrubbies. But I'm not going to show you how to do the scrubby today. We'll do that another time. So you're going to chain 26. So I'm going to put a little loopy slip on here. Well, maybe. When I try to do this live, I always have problems. When I'm sitting here by myself, I don't even have to look at my hands. But when I'm on here, I'm trying to show you guys. So chain 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, sorry, 24, 25, 26. So there's our chain of 26. Now, some people say sometimes I'll work it just by going into the second chain from the hook. Some people say you'll get a better finish if you turn your chain over and insert it from the back. So do whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just going to go straight in, and we're going to do single crochet. That's a US term. UK term would be a double crochet, but we're doing US terms. So not the loop that's on the hook, not this one, but in the first stitch. So 2 stitches back, start there and go across. And when you get to the end, you'll have 25 single crochets. So there's 2. And I am trying to get a cold, so I'm sorry for the scratchy voice. 3. And I'm going into the chain. So if you look at this, you can see the next opening is right here. And you're just working back on your chain. Hi, Lala. Hi, Katinka. Let me get some more, because I'm probably going to have yarn barf out of the middle. So let me pull some yarn free. Look at that. There's always some kind of weird loopity knot in the middle. And I'm just single crocheting back on my chain. And I like to do this instead of immediately starting into whatever the pattern is, because it gives you a little bit more stable base than if I just started into my shell pattern into the chain. This stabilizes the chain, just getting this row of single crochet. And I end the dishcloth with a row of single crochet. I don't know how many rows this is because I don't really count the rows. What I do is I fold the dishcloth from corner to corner to see that it's square. And once it starts getting square, I know, I'm close, and then I can just add my row of single crochet and it's done. Bam. All right. It's hard with this Band-Aid on, but I have a split in the end of my thumb that's beyond in the quick, and it is so painful. So I've had to put a Band-Aid on. And of course, the pain is right in the end of the thumb, so of course that's going to hurt. And I'll sew the tail in to this beginning single crochet row later. That tail that I have, I'm not worried about that. So if you're new to crochet and you want to verify that you're ending, if you haven't been counting as you go along, if you want to verify how many stitches you have, I'm going to show you the easiest way to count them. So if you want to write this down, it's a chain of 26 and then do a row of single crochet. So if you look at it from the sides, you'll see your stitches form a little V. You can count them that way. But I find the easiest way is to roll my work up and look at the V's along the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I have my 25 stitches. Hi, Pam. All right, so now we're going to start our pattern. And this is just something I threw together in my head. I may have worked a pattern similar, but this is something I said, I'm just going to do, I want to do shells. All right, so we're going to chain one and we're going to turn. So this is the first row that you're going to repeat. So rows 2 and 3 are going to repeat one after the other and all the way up the dishcloth. So once we get these 2 rows done, you'll know the pattern. All right, we're going to single crochet in the first single crochet. Remember the chain one part, the little loop in between where your loop is on here and down here, that's just your turning chain. So single crochet, then skip one, and then do 3 double crochets, which I understand to be UK's triple. So we'll do them all in this next stitch. You skip a stitch and then you do 3 doubles. All right, whoops, hang on, Becky's lost it. It's so hard to show this. I don't know how girls with the crochet channels do this all the time. Skip a stitch, single crochet. Skip a stitch, do 3 doubles in the next one. And this is your shells. And the longer your piece gets, the more you've worked on it, it's easier to handle than this very beginning few rows. A lot of people have trouble when they're just learning crochet is how to wrangle the material until you get it stabilized with your stitching. Skip a stitch, do a single crochet. Skip a stitch, do another shell, which is 3 doubles. So 1, 2, and 3. Skip a stitch and do a single crochet. Skip a stitch, do 3 doubles. And you do this all the way across skip a stitch, do your single, skip a stitch, do your 3 doubles, I need to relax. I'm tensing. I can feel it. And skip a stitch, do a single, and skip a stitch, do 3 doubles. And once you get these 3 doubles done, you should have 2 stitches left of the previous row, and you're going to skip a stitch and do a single crochet in that very first single crochet. All right, now we're going to do a turning chain, and it is not going to count as one of the double crochets that you're going to need. So I'm going to turn, I'm going to chain 2. This just gets me to the height I need for the double crochets. Now in this first single crochet, you're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, and I've got to pull some more yarn free because I feel like I'm on a short leash. And I just pull a bunch out and just have it off to the side here. All right. All right, so now it's always going to be, you do your group of stitches or your single crochet, then you're going to skip a stitch, which is the first double crochet in this previous shell, and you're going to single crochet into the center stitch of your shells. So single crochet here, skip a stitch, then you're in your single crochet, and you put 3 double crochets in there. And that is a shell being formed into the single crochets. 2, 3. Skip a stitch, do your single crochet in that center stitch of the previous shell, do 3 doubles in the single, and you do another shell. And so each time you're going to, when you end with 2 double crochets at the end of this row, if you end in a double crochet, the next row is going to start with a chain of 1. When you end in a row that ends with a single crochet, the next row will start with the chain of 2. Does that make sense? Because you need the height for your double crochets. And I always have, with the pattern, I always have a count of, if I counted the top of my stitches, it would always be 25. If you need to stop and, do a quick count to make sure you haven't added stitches somewhere, do it until you get used to it. Because basically, whatever stitches I skip on the previous row, it's taken up in the shell. So if you look at this, so this is a single crochet, and I skip a stitch here and I skip a stitch there. If you count when you have your shell done, it's 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. That's how you can change your stitches. Like if you're making a bowl, a basket, a hat, if you want to change the stitches, you have to take into account the stitches that you're skipping to form the shell. So like if I wanted to put shells of 5, I would skip 2. So I would take and think about the one stitch in the center of the shell, and then whatever stitches I've skipped, you're going to add that many to the shell. So there'd be 1, 2, the one in there, 1, 2, and then come over. So if you think about it that way, then you can modify your patterns yourself. And it's so much easier than you think it is. I wanted to mention that because Heather had mentioned, because I just make my baskets up as I go along as well. And the baskets I make with whatever thrifted yarn I have. Okay, we're going to, did I miss a stitch? Oh, it's rolled up there. I'm going to do my single crochet here. All right, then you should have 2 left here, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets in the last one on this row. And that way I've completed my row and I'll have 25 stitches. All right, so we've ended with the double crochets. Look at this knot I've got. Hang on. And knots are nothing but loops. So if you don't pull on it, you can just pull them back out. If you pull on it, it'll form a knot. All right, so there's the 2 double crochets in the last one. And remember, the next row will start with a single crochet. So you only chain 1 and turn your work. And then you start and you repeat the row that we started with. So we're going to single crochet in this first stitch, skip a stitch, and you see this is a single crochet. That's where you're going to put your shell. So you're always putting your shells into the single crochets, and the single crochets will go in the center of the shells. So there's my shell into that single crochet. And if I skip one, I'm in that center stitch here, and I'll single crochet, skip one, do a shell. Okay? I'll try to type out the actual pattern. It's basically just a 2-row repeat. You just got to remember when you are working on a row that starts with a single crochet, it'll end with a single crochet, but then you've got to do a chain 2 instead of a chain 1 to start the row with the 2 double crochets. Once you get going with it, you'll understand what I mean. The only thing I'm having trouble with this cotton today, this is Sugars and Cream by Lily is the yarn I'm using. And I like to use variegated like this. When I'm showing a pattern, it's so much easier to see because you get a color change in the yarn so you can see the different stitches. Because see, look, that shell is made up of 3 different colors, and you can see that it's 3 stitches. Skip one, single crochet in the top of the next shell. And then we're going to skip one and do our shell in the single crochet. All you have to remember is you're putting shells into the single crochets once you get your pattern going. And you're always skipping a stitch in between each bit. So when you've done your last shell here, you'll have 2 stitches left, and you're going to single crochet in that first one. So we're ending with a single crochet. So the next row we will start with the 2 double crochets. So we're going to turn and chain 2. Now there is another way, I've seen it, and people have shared the video with me on how to get the height without doing the 2 chains. But for some reason, I just go back to doing this method to get my height for my 2. And it doesn't bother me. So that's why I continue to do this. But there is a different way to do that. I just don't remember it. Yep, do all the things Lala's saying. Leave a comment after the video goes off. All right. This day, I'm going to have to get my happy lamp out and plug it in for about 20 minutes. It's so dreary. And I love my happy lamp. It helps me so much when the days are dark, drizzly, and depressing. It's just a nice, warm feeling to have the lamp on. You can tell this skein of yarn has been around for a while. Because in the center it's really got a lot of little loops and bits going on where it's been left in the skein, but all you got to do is gently lift it. Remember, skip one, do your single crochet, and we'll do a shell. So I hope everybody's got the pattern in their heads now. And I just keep going until I get a square, but I'll do a quick count. All right, so that was my last single crochet. So I still have these two. There's one here and one here. And if you get to the end and you can't really identify, if you turn your work so it's facing you, you can see there's a V here, and then there's these two loops here. That's the top of the very first one. And that's where I'm going to put 2 double crochets. So I just go under the front and the back loop at the top like that, and just put in my last 2. So that I did the repeat of the pattern twice. I hope that is something that, hi Carol, that you can remember. So what do we do now? All right, we ended with the 2 double crochets. So the next row is going to start with a single crochet. So you are going to chain 1. The only time you chain 2 is if you're on a row that starts with the 2 double crochets. So a chain 1 will get us turned around so we can single crochet in that first one, skip 1, and then do the shell in the next single crochet across. And I'm not going to go all the way across again because that is the pattern. So if I bring my original that I just finished up here, I'm going to count the rows with you guys. And remember, to count the rows, you are going to, I'll get a knitting needle. I don't have a matching knitting needle, so this is a pokey tool. Because you're offsetting, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I had 16 rows in the shell pattern, plus the starting chain and a row of single crochet, and then you do the 16 rows in the shell pattern, then you end that with single crochet up here. Okay? So I hope you guys like that. And I am up to day 13 of February. I have 42 dishcloths in my tub that are in the sets. And so that meant 31 for January and 11 for February. This is the 12th and the 13th for those 2 days, and then I made the matching scrubby. So this is like a little gift set I put together, and I'm putting in the packages for anybody that doesn't know that I'm doing this. And this is what they look like when I get them in the bag. And the dishcloths are all different. I just create 2 dishcloths and then I make a scrubby. I'm about to run out of the scrubby yarns. This is what I have left in my scrubbies. There's really not much left. They don't take much, but yeah, I'm going to be running out. But anyway, this will give me my 43rd set. No, not 43rd. I have 42 dishcloths, 21 sets. This will be my 22nd set here. And I just got to put it in the bag. But I had so much fun creating this shell dishcloth that I thought I'd come on and show you guys how to do it. And I'll quickly type up, the rows. And then hopefully if you get stuck, or if you try this dishcloth and you get stuck, just PM me, send me a message either on Instagram or Facebook. But I'm going to keep going with this one. So I'll make 2 dishcloths with this yarn, and then I'll probably make a scrubby and maybe use the blue with it. what I do for the scrubbies is I hold the yarn I used with whatever scrubby stuff I have. I'm kind of glad I'm running out of this stuff because it's really creepy on the hand. But it'll make a great scrubber on something that's stuck on. It's just weird to the feeling. And I'll be glad to use it up. And I'm going to put blue with this pretty yarn. But anyway, this other scrubby stuff I have in here, I got it in the thrift store. It's different. It's not that scrubby. This is more of a cotton with just a little extra bit. I don't know what I'll do with that. I think I used it on one scrubby, and it's a little different feeling. We passed the local arts community. It's called Rosewood over in Columbia, and they were having their Mardi Gras parade yesterday, and we got to see a little bit of it. We were going in the opposite direction of the parade, so we got to see some of that. But anyway, if you're making up dishcloths, and the reason I'm putting them in sets, I have a tub of gift items, and I put them in there. And then at Christmas time, my husband can take all these dishcloth sets in, and the ladies can, or the folks, whoever's there, can pick something for Christmas out of there. And I thought if I just did dishcloth sets, it might work out better for them. And everybody can use a new dishcloth each Christmas. So that's what I'm doing. All right. Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And hi and bye, Josie. I'm going to leave now. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow to do the reverse painting. So I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.